Good afternoon, hello, welcome to the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. Once again, Dan is taking over the reins today, and today Dan has gone to an outdoor velodrome with Leigh to try and get him as fast as possible with the help of Chris Hine from Pure Performance Coaching. All the relevant links are down below in the description as per normal. This is a day and a thing that I would absolutely love to do, so I'm jealous as hell watching this footage back, but hopefully you enjoy it. Let's get stuck in. Please do also let Dan know down below how good of a job he's doing. I am loving it, this content, and hopefully you are too.
Right, just arrived at the velodrome. This is now the day after bike fit that we did with Leigh. It's freezing, if you can't tell by hoodie and coat. Summer is definitely over. Looks like a cool venue. We'll go in a minute and I'll show you. Lee's turned up with bike.
What are you doing with your jacket on, mate? It's so warm today.
Yeah, I'm Nash. So yeah, Chris has turned up. I'll chat through exactly what we're doing in a bit because it's pretty cool. So we're just gonna get in, get set up, and then talk to you later. All right, so just come onto the track. It's a really nice surface. Leigh was just saying they've had some funding recently to resurface the whole track. So the reason we're here, when we were talking about aero testing with the team, there was a few different venues we could have gone to, a few different places we could have used. There was indoor velodrome options or wind tunnels, but I was quite keen to get us outdoors to get some more realistic data. The trouble with indoor velodromes is it's completely still. We're going to be doing the attempt outdoors, so the data's in terms of wind, the data's not going to be as realistic as it's going to be doing some outdoor stuff. And wind tunnel, when they're blasting the wind at you, it comes out of the wind tunnel basically in straight lines, and wind doesn't behave like that in the real world, in the outdoors. So coming to an outdoor velodrome where there's a flattish surface, fairly controlled in terms of, I mean, this is sort of, I don't know if you can tell, but we're sort of in a bowl, so it's very still, but it's still realistic, it's still outdoors, and as close to real life data as what we're going to get. So that's the reason we're here. Chris, you see Chris and Leigh setting up behind me. The bike's out, we've got a load of helmets, we've got a couple of skin suits to try, a couple of saddles, a couple of different positions. So we've got a good run list of things that we want to test and try today. So we're going to work through all of that one by one, and Chris from Pure Performance has brought along his no-show, which is the data, which is the piece of equipment that we're going to use to get the data from. Some of you might have heard of no-show already. It's basically a little, I'll show it to you properly later, but it's basically a little box, a little sensor that you put on the bike. You plug some numbers into it in terms of air pressure, air density and all that sort of stuff, hook it up to a power meter, and it will work out how aero you are, basically, work out your CDA. So yeah, exciting stuff. Okay, so this is the no-show unit that we'll be using to test CDA. So you can see it just attaches to the extension. There's different ways to mount it to the bike. This is going to be the best way for us. Attach to the extension on the bike, and Chris is just plugging in some numbers. We're just going to measure tyre circumference now, plugging in some numbers into the unit so that we get really accurate data from when Leigh's actually riding around. But it's pretty cool. The fashion police.
Can't believe you're documenting it.
The fashion police aren't anywhere nearby.
Been called.
So we can get away with awful things like this. I mean, thankfully there's no crowd here to see this. So
Coming to a rave near you soon.
You've got to do your Instagram booty pose, don't you? that's how they do it all, isn't it? Stick the arse out, belly in, boobs
You're
out.
getting some bad stuff at me today. I'm meant to be controlled, professional athlete.
So we've got really nice baseline from Leigh here. If we have a look at the average CDA from the whole warm-up, we're getting 0.242. And then if we look at the baseline where we just took two different data sets, we've got 0.241, 0.244. He's holding cadence really nicely. Speed is literally exactly the same. So he's getting some really good data. So now we're actually going to start making some changes from that baseline and see what's making a difference.
So we've just done run 1 with Leigh in this is like our baseline position. So we've done a couple of runs to make sure we're getting consistent data through Chris, and the data's really, really good. So we can do everything else on one run now, which is great because that's going to save us a chunk of time and enable us to test a lot more stuff during the day. So we've got skin suit number 2 on now. So you can see Leigh coming up here. Skin suits are provided by Hoob. So we've got a couple of different options. We've got a skin suit with an Aero base layer under now. So we're just testing the difference between that and the baseline. All right, so first test run done with a different skin suit. This is really exciting because Leigh's already doing the speeds that we kind of want him to do to break the world record before all of this, before today. And after trialing one skin suit, we think we found around 10 watts, which is huge, absolutely massive. 10 watts over 7 days of continuous riding, pretty much, is the difference between breaking the world record and not. So that's just one skin suit with a base layer. So yeah, good start.
And white on the shorts, that's the problem.
She doesn't like you at all, does
Really
she?
hates me. So the difference with this one is it has got that base layer in here, so it's ribbed at the top. It's got venting under the sleeves, which is designed for Florida, where we're going.
Yeah.
And this is not polyester, it's polyamide, which has it's better for cooling and it's better for aero apparently. So, but it hasn't got the lower sleeve, so it's a short sleeve version. Which is, in a way, it's good for the temperature if it's 30 degrees out there, but for aerodynamics it could be.
Okay, so it's actually 7 watts faster, which equated to half a second per 400 meter lap. So, extrapolate that over 2,200 miles ish. Massive difference. So, good start. Got another skin suit to test now, actually. So we'll see if we can get any more out of that. And then we're on to helmets. Okay, we've got coffee now, so all is well. Leigh's just off on first test of the first helmet. There he goes. We've settled on a suit and undergarment option, which we'll show you another time, but it's quite exciting. So yeah, we'll see what helmet's fastest with that suit and base layer / undergarment. And then once we've got once we've got a helmet nailed, we will start refining the smaller things, but big things first, smaller things later. We're on, I think, helmet number 5 now. There he is. So after this, we've definitely got a preference for helmet at the moment. We've got a couple more to try. After this, Chris has just said we want to do another baseline test to see if, now that the conditions have changed slightly in terms of the weather, breeze has slightly picked up a little bit, it's a bit warmer than it was this morning. We want to do another baseline test to make sure that these numbers that we're producing are consistent regardless of condition, because obviously they will change slightly. The no-show system's designed to take those conditions into account, but we just need to make sure that that's happening. So we're going to do a baseline test after this again, try out those other 2 or 3 helmets and find out which one's fastest, and after that we'll start testing a few smaller things. But so far, skin suit, helmet, plenty more to come. All right, so we've tested helmets, finished helmet testing. We've got 2 helmet options that tested exactly the same, which is really nice because we might be able to switch between the 2 on the record attempt based on pressure points or ventilation or comfort or whatever Leigh wants at the time. If one helmet feels better than another, then we can use that, knowing it's not going to have an aero penalty. We've tested saddles, where we've tested 2 different saddles that we wanted to test. As I said before, we want 2 saddles for different pressure points, to give Leigh 2 different pressure points on the attempt, so he's not loading the same area over and over again. There was a slight aero difference between the 2 saddles, mainly because the saddle height changes when we put one saddle on and take the other off, but it was negligible, like very slight difference. So again, that's good, knowing we can change between the two without any penalty in speed, performance, aero. So now we're testing the finer things. We've got Aero shoe covers to go on. We'll see what difference they make, if any, and go from there.
That's the position I could hold, all day.
Yeah.
So then when I tuck,
Yeah.
that number's going to go down to like 2-1, something like that.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't, but yeah, I would hope that it goes down slightly
Yeah.
more as well. So yeah, if you're happy with that kind of baseline position, that's quick. It's looking at eating, drinking, and maybe looking to optimize it a bit with your body, maybe.
Yeah. So what I'd like to do is sitting up, like I'll just ride around 6 times, basically holding a bottle somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So we get an idea of what speed that comes out at. It'll be a horrible drag. You
Yeah.
need to know it.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a position quite sitting upright, which on the skis still. But what I found, I was on Mallory the other night, and when it gets dark, I was like, when you're down and you're just trying to look out the top of your eyes, it's like you're zooming through space. There's not even a concept of what's up or down. So I was quite up like that. So that's just for that situation.
Head up one.
Yeah, and then, well, we've kind of got the medium one now that I've been doing, and we'll do a head down.
Yeah, fine.
Which I think, like chatting to Dan, I could probably hold a tucked position for 1 out of every 4 hours, something like that.
Okay, so equipment sorted. We've tested overshoes, which are faster. We've tested skin suit, helmet, got the optimal. We've tested saddles, and now we're testing different riding positions. So Leigh's just done a position that he's going to be in when he's eating and drinking, because we need to know how much slower that is, so we can add those numbers into the model to determine Leigh's target average speed for the record attempt. So that was cool. And now we're testing different head positions, and this is really exciting. So we just tested quite an aggressive head position versus Leigh's sort of baseline average position, if you like, and we've just saved 10 watts on one head position. So doesn't mean it's going to be sustainable for 7 days. It won't be sustainable for 7 days, but maybe we can add that into the model somewhere and save some watts, save some speed, save some time, temporarily at least. So yeah, just testing again, a couple of different head positions now, and then we'll go from there. But looking really good. We've saved like double digits watts easily in total today. Okay, so we finished up at the track. Well, I finished up at the track. I've got to leave a little bit early, unfortunately, because I have got a bike fit to get back to. So I've got to get back to Derby now. So really cool day, really cool day. Thanks to Chris at Pure Performance for coming down, helping us out with that, with the no-show and all the data. We've saved a bag of watts today, through kit, through head position. So from a bike fit point of view, we're gonna work with Leigh on some neck strength stuff and shoulder strength to enable him to hold as low a head position as possible, for as long as possible. As I say, even if he can't hold it for a week, which I highly doubt he'll be able to, we can use that position on and off to eke out what looks like about 10 watts. So, which is massive, absolutely massive. Extrapolate that over 7 days, like that's a huge amount of time or distance, whichever way you want to look at it. So really, really exciting that we've managed to save that much. So yeah, when we've got some proper numbers and we've absolutely finalized everything, I'll do a bit on the actual kit that we're going to use, what saddles, what helmets, what suit, all that sort of stuff, because I'm not sure exactly how much I'm allowed to say at the minute. So, but yeah, we'll do that at a later date.